What's up, guys? Back with another video. It's been a minute. Been busy with the day job. Been working after work, working on weekends, all that stuff. So been hard to get to a video, but we're back now. This weekend, Sunday, the 14th, we are going to be at the Truck Bar Show in Berlin, Connecticut, hosted by Hard Hittin' Card Shows. I've never done this show or attended, so I'm looking forward to it. I've heard nothing but good things about the show, so really excited about it. And then the following weekend, going to be back at the Pokemon Outlet in Lee, Mass for Saturday, Sunday, 20th, 21st, pre-Christmas show. So catch you guys there if you're one of the locals. And just last weekend, we had the Pokemon Outlet for the Black Friday weekend. That was a great show. Friday was really good. Saturday was a little slow. And then Sunday was pretty decent, pretty steady. Kind of a weird weekend, So, yeah, it was still a good time, though. Still made plenty of deals. And, yeah, looking forward to being there again. I am planning on doing every Pokemon Outlet show that I can next year, just because it's convenient, it's local to me, and it's a blast. I like hanging with the vendors and seeing familiar faces and doing deals with people I know. So plan to see me there all next year, once a month. All right, so got a lot going on in the market since last time we talked. First things first, Mega Dream is out, and that means a good amount of Ascended Heroes, the English set, is revealed. And I gotta say, this set is shaping up to be maybe the most hyped set I've seen since I started vending, which is to say, more hype than Prismatic, Destined, more hype than Mega or Mega Phantasmal Flames. I wanted to say Inferno X, but you know what I mean. This set just looks jam-packed with just fire. For a special set, I mean, I don't even know what to expect for ETB prices and stuff like that, because if you've seen the release schedule, it's kind of crazy. I think on release day, we're getting like blisters, and then like a month later, we're getting ETBs, and then like 2 months later, we're getting booster bundles. So I really don't even know what to expect out of it. It's a wild looking release schedule. It seems to me like, opposed to like Mega Evolutions and Phantasmal, singles in this set in Ascended Heroes are going to be really hard to come by in the first couple months, because there's just not going to be that much availability of sealed product. As far as I know, specialty set, no booster boxes, and for the first month we're going to be surviving off like, what are they, like sticker collections or blister packs or something, like three pack blister packs or something. So I don't really know what to make of that. I don't really know how the market's going to react to that. I gotta say, I would assume that sealed prices for this set are gonna be insane for a while, unless when the ETBs drop, they are just flooded into the market, which maybe, but kind of feels unlikely the way it's been. And it just seems to me like Demand is still there, especially for this new set. Got the Mega Dragonite, the Mega Gengar, the Gold Dragonite, Charizard Y, which has not been spoiled yet, but should be getting spoiled pretty shortly. Just seems like demand is going to be exceeding supply once again, and I don't know how that plays, but we're gonna see. That being said, Mega Dream is out right now. I'm putting in an order for some Mega Dream boxes, so I'll have some this weekend. I should have some at the Pokemon Outlet next weekend, and that set is sick. I'm gonna have to really practice some self-control to not want to rip boxes of that, because it looks like a sweet set. I really like the art styles. The Gengar is amazing. The Dragonite I think is pretty dope too. And like the Zoroark, there's a bunch of awesome arts. The special art rares in the set are crazy, and I'm pumped to get my hands on some. And I think, my other little thing here is, if English product is hard to get for a couple months, typically we'll get the ETBs on release. This set, we're not getting them for an extra month, and then who knows what supply is going to be. Demand's going to be, in my opinion, really high for it. So I think that is positive tailwinds for the Japanese set. Just some speculation for you there. But either way, that's kind of the new, what's going on with the new set. I think there's a lot of interesting things at play with that new set. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, some broader thoughts on the market, and I'm sure if you're paying attention at all, if you're kind of, watching what price trends are doing at all, there's a lot of fear in the market right now, which is pretty interesting. I don't think we've had this much fear in quite some time. Prices across the board are dropping pretty significantly, or they have been for the past, 2 months now. Single prices, especially of modern, are down significantly. PSA 10 modern prices down significantly, and even sealed down in a lot of cases significantly. Like I have a booster box of Paldea Evolved, and 2 months ago that was hitting its all-time high at 500. I just checked the other day. It is now lowest listing on TCG is like 350. So that's an interesting development. I've pretty much shelved that booster box for the moment because I'm not really comfortable selling it at 350. I think for an out-of-print box with a chase card that you're 3 times as likely to hit as any SIR, or probably more than 3 times likely to hit, but just seems undervalued at 350. There's other prices that are down too. Booster boxes, Phantasmal prices are down. GameStop just got a big drop of SPCs and UPCs, but they're selling them at, in many cases, above market price. So that's kind of an interesting dynamic. I don't know. Who knows? But there's definitely fear in the market. People are flash selling more steadily than they have been on one end. And then you have people, I've seen a lot at shows, and lots of people have talked about it, where a lot of vendors are still stickering stuff like it's 2 months ago, which is crazy also. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird time in the market. I mean, this time of year with the holidays coming up, it's just a time where like sort of casual collectors and um, people that are investing in the hobby but are, you know, have less cash flow outside of their collection, they're more likely to be liquidating right now. You know, people need cash freed up for the holidays. People need to sell stuff to pay for, you know, presents and vacations, to go see family, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So there's more of an incentive for people to be liquidating. And that's going to turn into downtrends in market prices in many cases. So, you know, not really surprising. That's pretty common this time of year. And yeah, I think that's a big part of what's going on right now. So we'll see. I would, if you follow Rudy Alpha Investments at all, which if you don't, you're crazy. That's who I would, for broad market trend sort of analysis, especially of sealed product, but everything else kind of follows sealed product in my opinion. For that type of analysis, Rudy's just the absolute GOAT, and you should be following him if you're interested in this stuff. So, but his analysis, I think, is correct, and he's predicted this quarter to be a down quarter for Pokemon broadly, and Q1 next year, January through March, we'll probably see a return to steady climbing prices for a bit, at least, or at least a return towards the all-time highs that we were at a couple months ago. And I think he's probably right. He's, he knows what he's talking about. He's very plugged into what trends there are in distribution for sealed prices, for sealed product, I mean. And yeah, I think it's, this time of year is just liquidation season for a lot of people that don't have the ability to hold on to stuff. And so that affects prices broadly. And then there's some other interesting things going on in the market that I do think are having some effect, but I'm not sure they will have that much long-term effect. There's the whole PSA, GameStop, PSA eBay sales buyback scandal, sort of. It's not really a scandal, but people are kind of, they're speculating that there's some nefarious collusion going on, let's say, where there's a few different stories happening here. So as far as I can see, there is, first of all, GameStop is doing like all these repack sort of gambling deals where you can buy mystery packs online for slabs. They reveal the slab to you, and then they're offering like 90% buyback rates in a lot of cases. And so they've absorbed like a bunch of PSA slabs to achieve this sort of the demand for this, because I think there is like I've talked about before, there's like a very high demand for gambling in the hobby. It's not really what I enjoy in the hobby. It's not really what I do. Aside from I sell sealed product, which is also gambling. But yeah, I mean, there's like this whole weird thing going on with that. Honestly, to me, that's just like institutional investment in slabs, which to me, long term, I mean, short term, there's some fear, and I kind of understand it, but at the same point, like, I think long term, it's just it's going to steady the PSA 10 market, the PSA graded card market, because once you have institutional investment in a hobby like Pokemon, the prices are gonna, that kind of gives some prices a more stable floor. And I don't think the gambling demand is going away. And so that kind of, over the long term, I think that will be a steadying force in the slab market. The other weird stuff that's going on is kind of like, there's this, somebody posted about PSA revealing grades to somebody, and they gave them 9s on a few cards, or some number of cards. I don't know how many. And so the person like sold them to PSA, because PSA offers a buyback option on cards that they just graded. That's a conflict of interest, but it's sort of a, well, hold on a sec. I'll table that for a sec. So PSA offered them the buyback on the 9s. Person accepted the offer, and then later on, the same cert numbers came up for sale, and the slabs were actually graded 10s when they came up for sale, which is definitely sketchy. Now, as far as that being nefarious, kind of hard to know from the outside looking in. But if that was an honest mistake, PSA better not let it happen many times. That's not a good look. As far as I've heard, they did make it right with this person. So they compensated them for the miscommunication, the mislabeling, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a strong take on that. But they better not let that happen many times, because that'll be a big problem. There's not a ton of things that I could see that would knock PSA off the top tier of the grading company list. But if that happens more, that could be one of the few things that I could see that would really negatively affect the people's perception of them as a company. And people's perception of them as a company is already pretty mixed. So don't let it happen many times, PSA. I know that they're facing like highest demand ever for cards being graded, especially with GameStop being a facilitator for grading. So right now I'm not going to allege anything nefarious, but that's something that they better correct quickly and not let happen many times, because that'll be a problem. Yeah, the other thing that's kind of weird is, as many people have talked about, PSA grading cards and also giving buyback offers on cards and also having their own sales on eBay creates an interesting constellation of incentives. Some of them are bad incentives. Some of them are, I don't know, I wouldn't call them good incentives. I would say there is an interesting tug of war going on with their incentive structure in that business structure. And I don't exactly know how to feel about it yet, because some people are like, oh, well, they're incentivized to give out 10s more easily, because if somebody opts to sell through them on eBay, because you can commission them as a seller, they can achieve higher sales prices at the 10 price, and thus their commission is higher. That's true. The opposite of that, though, would be that, well, if they grade them at a 9, they get to buy them for cheaper. I mean, if we were really going full tinfoil hat here, the way to milk the cow here would be grade them 9s, buy them back, crack them out, resubmit them yourself, which that's some like next level degeneracy, like really like bad market manipulation stuff. And I don't think that's what's going on. I think that would be a death sentence if somebody were to, you know, you had some sort of whistleblower in the company that said that's what they were doing. So I would be really surprised if they were that bold and willing to risk their reputation when they already should be making like crazy money with the amount of submissions that they're getting. So I just think that seems unlikely. Although that would be a thing that could happen. I don't think it is happening. I'm not going to allege it's happening because I think that would just be like really short-minded. Like, you have a good thing going here. Like, are you really going to risk it to like bump up your profit margin a little bit at the risk of destroying your reputation forever? I don't think so. You'd have to have some really idiotic people in charge to let that happen to your company when it's such a success as is. But who knows? I'm kind of in a wait and see mode. I'm still grading cards with PSA. I have 3 orders out right now. I'm really hoping one of them is going to come back in the next week or 2, but it's been sitting in processing for 2 weeks or something now. So we'll see. I did say one of my last videos, like, that I was hoping to get these back soon, but also, and that I felt like it was a good time to be grading cards just because the market's down. So like, hey, I'll put those away for a couple months, see what happens in the market. When I get them back, hopefully we're back on the incline. But who knows? And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I've got a really interesting all PSA 1 hopeful submission coming back soon. And then after that, I've got a little mixed bag submission with some nice PSA 10s, some hopefully PSA 10s, and some other stuff coming back. And then I just submitted one this past week that's just a little 4-card submission. But at the last Pokemon Outlet show, I got a Mega Gengar. It's the one that's the name and the move are both in Japanese. I forget which. It's like a special one. But I sent that one out. It might not get a 10, but I am hopefully cautiously optimistic that it's got a chance at a 10. And so that would be a big W if that came back at 10. But hopefully, I don't know, in the next couple weeks, hopefully, I'll have a PSA submission reveal video for you guys. And yeah, hopefully I am able to do more videos soon. I've been slacking. So we'll talk soon, guys. As far as broad strokes in the market, things are fearful now. I see a lot of attractive price points right now. If I had more money to throw around, I wouldn't be that scared long term. So take that for what it's worth. If you see some good buying opportunities, they might be good at buying opportunities. But we'll see how it shakes out. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later this week. And hope to see some of you guys in Berlin, Connecticut this Sunday, and Pokemon Outlet next weekend. All right, later.